If I told you that time travel is possible today, where would you go? Which moment in history would you choose? I'm sure that many of you would return to a deeply personal moment, maybe the birth of your child, or the last time you heard your parents, or the day you met the love of your life. Others would travel much farther to walk through ancient Rome or visit the pyramids, or to stand before one of those moments that changed the course of humanity forever. What if I told you that the time machine is already within your reach? That with a single tap you could travel back to the exact moment history changed. Today, with something just as common as a smartphone, that journey is finally possible. But memory doesn't belong only to individuals. We also remember as a community. For decades, many Americans asked each other, "Where were you when Kennedy was shot?" In Chile, many of us still remember exactly the place where we were during the 1985 earthquake. But memory isn't exclusively human. Elephants remember the path to the water for decades. They recognize those who protected them and those who harmed them. They remember even when their elders come to die. And even water has a memory. After years of diversion, a river finds its original course again, flooding the town that thought it had tamed it. But cities remember too. Every street holds a story, every wall preserves a trace, every monument marks something that happens exactly there. Cities are just not a collection of buildings, cities are a collection of memories. Yet we walk through them every day as if they were empty stages. We know their street, but we rarely know their histories. Walter Benjamin wrote that the angel of history always faces the past. It sees history as a growing pile of ruins. It longs to stay, to awaken the dead, to repair what has been broken, but the storm pushes it relentlessly into the future. Benjamin called that storm progress. 1973 allows the angel to turn. Because history doesn't disappear, it becomes invisible. Today we live in a paradox. Never before have we had access to so much information, yet we understand less and less of the context that it gives it meanings. That is why we created 1973 AR, not as a technology app, but as a geolocated immersive storytelling platform, designed to reveal invisible layers of memory hidden in our cities. We don't want people to read history, or see it inside a museum, or listen to it in a podcast. We want them to live it. Imagine you are walking through Paseo Bulnes in downtown Santiago. A regular morning, people on the way to work, coffees and stores are open. The city feels exactly as it always does. Then you raise your phone, and at first nothing happens. Then slowly the boundary between present and past dissolves. The roar of three Hawker Hunters jets approaching from above and passing over your head. Then you approach a nearby newsstand. An old radio broadcast began to play. The front pages from historic newspapers reappear before your eyes. Suddenly, troops begin moving through the streets close to you. And when you reach La Moneda, you hear the last speech of Presidente Allende, broadcast live on Radio Magallanes. For a brief moment, present and past occupy the same space. We are not reconstructing history, we are restoring context to the present. We choose September 11, 1973 because there are events that no generation should know only through books or classrooms. Today, as democracies around the world again face authoritarianism, polarization, and historical denial, memory is no longer simply about remembrance. It becomes a tool for understanding the present. That is what 1973 IRA is, not simply an augmented reality experience, an act of memory, and a new way of telling a story. It begins in Santiago, but it doesn't end there. Think about the possibilities: Berlin, Rome, Sarajevo, Hiroshima, Buenos Aires, Cape Town. Every city holds stories waiting to be rediscovered. As you see, history is not the project, technology is a language. A few minutes ago, I asked where you could go if you could travel in time. Now, I would like to invite you on a different journey. I'm not asking you to remember 1973, I'm asking you to witness it. Because there is a profound difference between remembering and witnessing. Remembering happens in the mind, witnessing happens in the body, in the place. In the exact moment where it happened. We don't want to create tourists. We don't want to create spectators. We don't want to create users. We want to create witnesses. Because witnesses understand. And those who understand their history are better prepared to build a better future. Because history doesn't disappear, it becomes invisible. And our mission is to make it visible again. Thank you.